If you've ever had fish in a restaurant, most of the time that you get it, especially if the fish has some skin on it, what they do is they will sear one side of the fish very, very hard. You get like that awesome caramelized, brown, crispy side, and that skin is just perfect. It's almost like a skin on a roast chicken. And the other side is just slightly cooked. That gives you a piece of fish that is perfectly cooked inside. First thing you do is you get your pan. Usually a non-stick pan is not the best idea because you've got to crank the heat really high on this. Good all-clad, good stainless steel is what you want. Cast iron works too. Jam it up really high because you want this pan to be ripping hot. Take a high smoke point oil, something like canola or grapeseed or some kind of a vegetable oil. Olive oil is not so good. It will smoke and it will make your fish taste a little bitter. So you take just enough, maybe about a silver dollar size, and let that get in the pan. And while that is heating up, you have to take care of your fish. If you want crispy skin, you have to dry this fish as best as you can. And since the skin goes down first, here's a little trick that I learned in the restaurant. Take a butter knife, and with that butter knife, you scrape the skin of the fish. Doesn't matter which way, because it has no scales on it. This has been pre-scaled. Scrape that off. You get a little bit of a extra moisture or gook or whatever. Pat it real dry. And then we're going to put it skin side down first. You know the oil is ready when you can pick the pan up and move it around like that, and the oil will flow like water. When you're ready with the fish, you're going to do skin side first. Take a little bit of salt and then sprinkle it onto the skin side, just like that. And then you want to put the fish down. As soon as it goes down, shake it just a little bit, like that. And turn that heat to medium-high. Fish with skin on it is going to tend to arc. So you want to take a spatula, a metal spatula, and just press it down just a little bit. And just hold it there for a good 30 seconds. And then you can let go. Depending on how thick the fish is, you want this to cook for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. The thicker the fish, the longer it needs to cook, the lower the heat. So again, the thicker the fish, the longer it takes to cook, the lower the heat. This is about 1 inch thick, so it's going to take about 5 to 6 minutes on medium to medium-high heat. You want to hear that sizzle. This is what you want it to sound like. You just let it go. Don't flip it, just let it go for a good 4 or 5 minutes. So we've let this sit for about 5 minutes. What you can see is on the bottom is starting to crisp up real nice, and the cooked part is coming up the bottom. You know that this is going to be ready to go. You shake the pan just a little bit. See how that moves? That means that the skin is crispy and it's not stuck to the bottom of the pan. Take a metal spatula, slip it underneath, put your finger on the fish. Fish is very gentle. As soon as you put it down, shake. Look how crispy that is. It's perfectly crispy. And that will be every bit as nice and as crispy as a roast chicken skin. You only need to put this on for maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes. Just enough to cook it through barely. You don't want to overcook the fish. And because this pan is so hot, you can turn off the heat and let that hot pan do what it needs to do. Just walk away. 2-3 minutes. When the fish is just about done, what I like to do is put a little bit of butter, this is a tablespoon of butter, into the hot pan. You see how it melts almost immediately? This is going to be the base of your sauce. Spread it around and it will melt very, very quickly. And what you do is you tip the pan and baste it with the melted butter. And you get all of that flavor of butter into the fish. Now why don't you cook with butter to begin with? Because butter has a very low smoke point. your butter would burn and it would taste very bitter if you did this right at the start. So you do it right at the end and you get that excellent, delicious, buttery finish to the fish. When the fish is done, what you want to do is just get it to the plate very quickly. So make a little space. Nice pretty plate. Again, because fish is delicate, use your finger just to steady this. On the plate. Now is when you put pepper on. If you put pepper on in the beginning, it will burn. A little bit of lime, just around the edges. You don't want to mess with that crispy skin. I mean, if you eat it right away, you can put it on like this, but normally you want to put your sauces around because you've worked so hard for that crispy skin, you want to enjoy it. And that's very simple. Simple seared fish.